All right, so here we are in TinkerCAD, and I'm going to drag a shape over here. And I'm going to drag it out, and I'm going to click on these white boxes and make this 1.5. I'm going to make this 3.5. Oops, 3.5. And I'm going to click here, and the height I'm going to make 0.25. Come on. These note things are being pretty annoying. You got to delete those. Click here, click in that box, 0.25. So now I've got a rectangle. That is, if I click on this white thing here, 1.5 inches high, 3.5 inches wide, and a 1/4 inch thick. So there's my rectangle, right? All right, so first thing I want to do, probably should have done this before, is change this to Mr. Pat's Keychain. All right, so it's titled. And now I want to have a ring on my keychain. And before I do the name or any of the other stuff to this, I'm going to come over here and grab this tube and I'm going to drag it over here. What's really important about this, boys and girls, is that the bottom of this and the bottom of this are on the same plane, meaning they're equal. If I look at this plane straight on, you can see this guy's not up or down, below or above it. That will mess up the 3D printing, okay? So I don't need this guy yet, but I really wanted him to be on the same plane as this guy here. Another thing that can help you a lot over here in the corner is where it says snap grid down here. If I click on this and click off, that's just going to make it easier to move things. All right. So now that I have this guy, I'm going to leave him alone for a little bit and focus back on my body of my name tag. I'm going to change this work plane. Right now it's underneath the name tag and this guy here. Actually, you know what else I'm going to do? Let's click on this guy and let's make this 0.25 because now that's nice and even, the same height as the rest of the name tag. Okay. But what I'm going to do now is come over here to the work plane tool and put my work plane on top of this tag before I drag my text over. And you can see there's a text tool over here. Right now my text is a little big, so I'll shrink it down. Oop, I'll move it. I will make the height of my text 0.25. And I'll worry about moving it later. I can change the way the letters look. I like that maybe a little better than the first one I had. That's even better. All right. But my name isn't text. My name is battery. Oh, come on, you. P. What is going on here? Backspace. I guess I have to backspace. I can't just highlight it. Patarini. And when I click, holy cow, there's a Patarini right there. All right. So I'm going to click on that, make it smaller so it fits. It's sticking up a little high. Make sure it's solid here. I'm going to, yeah, I guess that's okay if it's 0.25. I might even make that 0.125. 0.125. Make it a little lower. There you go. So this sticks up a little bit. All right. Now, to get that perfectly centered, I know it looks like it's in the center, but let's say it wasn't. If I draw a box around both of these things and click on this centering tool, or aligning tool, I guess it's called, you should have used this in one of your earlier activities. If I click this dot right here, it's going to center that this way. And if I click this dot here, it's going to center it left and right. So now I know that my letters are nice and centered. I know that if I put my work plane back on the bottom of these guys, which you should do, turn it like this, put your work plane on the bottom. Now we're back to the way we started at the beginning of this activity. Now I can move this guy over and just kind of smash him in there. Maybe we should align the ring as well. So if I click here and I click that, it'll center it. I don't want to center it this way, else it'll put it in the middle. That's no good. Remember that undo is your friend, right? So now I've got this keychain with the ring. They're on the same plane, meaning that they're even. If I were to sit them on a tabletop or like the surface we 3D print this thing on, that would be pretty handy. All right. Now I want this to be printed as one complete piece of plastic. So I'm going to draw a box around the whole thing and I'm going to group it. And now you can see that the bottom is all shaded blue here. And if this was not the same color as this right now, it would tell me that your ring was not even. And sometimes you can tell sometimes this ring will be standing up a little bit or poking down through the bottom of this work plane. But this one looks good, so I'm ready to go. The last step to do is to click the export button here and make sure you choose .stl. That has just gone into my downloads. So send your teacher an email, click on your Gmail and email an attachment of that download, that STL file, and your teacher will print that for you, okay? But the number one thing you've got to make sure is that when you're first building this name tag, the bottom plate, the base, and the ring have to be built on the same plane, or else you're going to give it to your teacher and they're not going to be able to print it, no matter how nice your name tag is. All right? Good luck, and see your teacher if you have any questions.